everyone, it's Laurie from Quick Scrap Craft, and I am back with another scrapbook process video. This is for the Off the Board Challenge hop. I haven't participated in one of these in a long time, so if you need a refresher on what that is, here it is. It's a hop that a bunch of scrapbookers get together and do on the last Wednesday of every month, and we take inspiration from our Pinterest boards to create a scrapbook layout. So that could be something like a mood board, a picture, or something as simple as a scrap lift or a sketch. And that's usually what I do because I do have a lot of inspiration in my scrapbook and cards Pinterest board. I'll try to have that linked in the description box below so that you can also get some inspiration from that for your own Pinterest boards. And then also down in the description box is where you will find everyone who's playing along this month, and definitely hop along and see their creations as well, because everybody's got something different, which makes this a really fun hop. All right, so my inspiration is coming from, it was pinned on Pinterest by somebody else, but this comes from Instagram, and the user's name, her name is Janelle, but it's Junell, and Krutzel, Krutzel. I've just followed her, and I do think that she's still current and up to date with posting things, scrapbooky things, but this was actually a layout that was posted a couple years ago. But I really liked it because it's got 9 photos on a page. I wasn't exactly sure what the measurements were of everything because the Instagram post didn't go into detail on that. So I kind of just winged it, and I actually wasn't even looking at the post as I was creating this. I kind of looked at it once and then thought about it a little bit in my head of how I wanted to interpret this and what I wanted it to be. And so that's what I'm doing here. So the back paper is just some craft cardstock. I actually picked that up at a thrift store, which was a really nice paper find there. But it's from a company called The Paper Company, and it's just basic cardstock. That's what they call it, basic craft cardstock. Then there's some Echo Park paper that's going on top of that. You're still going to see the craft peeking out around the sides. But the Echo Park is actually from a fall collection called I Love Fall, and the specific paper is Elements of Fall. So this is just tone-on-tone orange, essentially. But the photos I've got are basketball. And because the basketball is orange, I was like, of course, this pattern paper is going to work really well for this. And then from my stash, I can't think of the name of the company. It's not Colorbach, it's not Color Play, but it's Crate Paper. There it is. So Crate Paper had a basketball collection, and I had just a strip of this pattern paper that was basketball hoops, and I just decided to have that kind of go across, kind of bridging the gap between the orange and this chevron-y paper that's down on the bottom. This paper is from a paper pad I got from Joann's. It was a camping themed paper pad. So unfortunately, it's not being sold anywhere anymore, but I decided to use it because though it didn't have specifically orange, it had a coral pink and sort of an orangey red on it. And, there was sort of like a crafty yellow, I guess, a muted yellow. And I just thought that those colors would still be okay for this. So I had 9 photos. These are pictures that were taken at a Rutgers women's basketball game during Scouts Day. This was our second year going back in 2024. And it was a lot of fun. And there's always, if you register within a certain amount of time, you get to do on-court activities. So that year, my daughter got to hand out Girl Scout cookies to people in the crowd, which was pretty cool. Although the box she got was trefoils, and those are the worst Girl Scout cookies ever. I'm sorry. I know that people like them and they're a classic, and Girl Scouts is never going to get rid of them, but they're a shortbread cookie and there's just no flavor at all. I'm just not a fan of shortbread unless it's going to be used for a pie crust, and there's going to be something really tasty in the middle for the pie. But on its own, it's just not my thing. So anyway, but if you do want Girl Scout cookies, I'll also put that link in the description box below because we're selling 8 other flavors of Girl Scout cookies along with the trefoils. So there's lots to choose from. And there's even a new cookie this year called Explore Mores, and my daughter doesn't like it, but it's chocolate. So to me, how can you go wrong? I can't taste it because I can't have chocolate, and it also contains milk and peanuts and other allergens. So sucks to be people with dietary restrictions during Girl Scout cookie season, but I'm not bitter. Anyway, back to the layout. So I made these photos. They were all printed in 4x6. I cut them down to 3x3. It takes up a lot of space on the page. And when I went back to look at Janelle's after doing this, I was like, oh, I don't think her photos were that big, especially because I also matted all of the photos onto just some generic white cardstock. And she matted hers as well, but I just didn't feel like hers took up as much room. So this might be better if you have photos that you can cut down to like a 2.5 by 2.5 or even a 2 by 2, especially if you're going to do matting. That might be better. I really couldn't have cut down some of these pictures any smaller because then we would have started cutting into people's heads and bodies, and we would have really missed out on like what was going on in the picture. So yeah, these are 3 by 3, but if I were to do this again, I would definitely hope to be able to cut them down like a little bit smaller. So I have them all in a grid, but the grid is not centered. It's off to the right-hand side of the page. So it's taking up a lot of space, and actually you're not even really seeing the crepe paper strip that I put there. There was really no point in putting that there because it all got covered up, but whatever. Hindsight. So now it's time to start thinking about titling and getting some embellishments down. So there's a piece from a Simple Stories basketball collection. I should have written it down. I'm trying to see if I can find my basketball stuff so I can tell you real quick the name of it, but of course I can't. But it's a Simple Stories basketball collection, and it's actually all the paper pieces that you would need to complete a 2-page layout. I think they call them like elements or something, but there's a whole other collection where you can get, I have a 12 by 12 sticker sheet of the basketball things, a basketball embellishment. So if you are more specifically looking for something to complete just 2 pages, and it shows you on the back of the packaging how you can use those page elements, or you can purchase individual pieces and a whole lot more from the entire collection. So I kind of went and did a little bit of both when I was purchasing these basketball things. So basketball, this ephemera piece is going to be the big part of the title, and then I'm using some Simple Stories paper alpha stickers to make the rest of the title on top, which is women's. So it's going to say women's basketball. And I did glue with some Elmer's school glue. I did glue those alpha stickers down because the paper alpha stickers do not stick well at all. So I would highly recommend having another form of adhesive for pretty much any paper alpha sticker, to be quite honest with you. I don't know if other companies make paper stickers that are better. The Simple Story stuff, I love the variety that they have, especially in their sticker books, but they're paper, and the stickers in the sticker books, I should say, are paper. You can get Simple Story stickers that are cardstock stickers, and they're really great. And the paper ones are nice too. They just don't tend to stick very well. So anyway, around the title, I've got a couple of embellishments kind of on the left-hand side and the right-hand side. So there are 2 clusters there. And then I've put one up at the very top where there's a sticker that says, "I heart this game." I'm going to add some stars. Again, the I heart this game is a cardstock sticker from Simple Stories. One of the stars that I'm adding is actually from a Bella Boulevard enamel star kit, or enamel star sheet. And I just wanted something a little bit different. There are a lot of stars in the Simple Stories collection, either cardstock stickers or punched out cardstock pieces or the paper stickers. And I just wanted something that was a little bit different to throw in there. There's also an all-star sticker that's on the middle photo of my daughter eating some pizza at the game. And then over at the top, I'm putting down a couple more stickers and stars to go with the photo of my daughter waiting in the group of Girl Scouts to go hand out cookies with everyone. And you can see she's got her brownie sash on because that year we were brownies. And that's kind of it. I do need to have a space to put some journaling. So the star that's by the word basketball, I just carefully took an orange marker pen. It's from Creative Memories. It's a fine tip pen. And I wrote the date inside the star, but I wanted a place where I could write, ideally I was going to write down the names of the people who were here. So like my daughter and the other Girl Scout that came with us. And I actually ended up not having room for that, but I had on my stash, this like grid graph type of paper. And so I just cut that to make, or I'm going to cut that to make a journaling spot. And then I'll do a couple little embellishments around that. And again, I just use the Creative Memories orange fine tip pen that I have to write all that journaling down. And I made a little cluster in the very bottom, or on the left-hand side, the very bottom left-hand photo. That's where I'm going to be putting that. I hope that you are finding this video inspiring, and I hope that you also think that Janelle's picture, which is, I guess I should direct your attention to the top left corner there. That's where her original photo or her original layout has been living this entire video. So you can kind of see how I was inspired by hers and how I did things a little bit differently. And you tell me what you think. What size do you think her photos are, her square photos? Do you think they're 3x3 or do you think they're smaller? I just felt like looking at mine compared to hers, I felt like mine were big, but I don't know. You could also kind of like make the grid not so straight and kind of overlap the photos a little bit, and that would help save some room as well. Again, something that I would come back to if I was to do this design again, which I probably will, because it was pretty easy. The longest part of this was just cutting all the photos, really. And everything else kind of came together fairly easily. There were so many photos. You can see in the close-ups here, I didn't need a whole lot of embellishments, which is kind of nice. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video. It was inspiring for you. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. Follow me on social media and hop along with everybody else. Bye.